Yeah, that's right. We just roll right out of it here, don't we? I was waiting for one of those little things to play. I'm not Steve Gorman. However, this is the KQ Morning Show. Not even Stevie Outback showing up today. Now, Steve had to take a day today, so it's Tony, Candace, and Zepp. We drive on. Yeah, we all survived the big storms last night. I don't hear crap where I live, so I guess that's a good thing, right? I think they put new windows in, so I don't hear anything. But big storms rolling through the metro again overnight. Hudson got crushed pretty good earlier in the week. A lot of damage over that way. Now storms have slammed in. A lot of residents sleeping overnight last night experienced heavy rains, lightning bolts. It was the wind, though. 85-mile-an-hour winds in Kandiyohi County. Helicopter got a closer look. They saw roofs ripped off homes, sheds in Spicer and New London, massive trees piled up on the ground, cats and dogs living together.
I can just imagine, like, if you could hear the storms and you were, like, really scared, you're just sitting there shaking, all scared, like, I would want to comfort you or something. That's what I'm imagining.
Well, it could happen yet this morning.
Be like Lulu, my dog. He goes into the bathtub whenever there's a rainstorm.
That's right. That's what Libby used to do as well. Yeah, she'd be when Libby was in the tub downstairs. The girls would, Dad, Libby's in the tub. Oh, something's rolling in. You go over to the window and start looking around. The animals, especially the dogs, they feel that barometric pressure in their sinuses. They know it's coming.
You know what I read? It's fascinating that the trouble with storms, it isn't so much the noise; it's the electricity in the air. Is
that it?
Yeah, it envelops their fur with the static electricity.
What?
Oh, sure. They feel the fur stand up on the back of their neck, and it's storm time. Now, that makes sense, I guess, So anyway, I hope everybody's doing all right. Doesn't look like a lot of big power outages, just thunderstorms rolling through as they do the end of July, and that means storm damage. I like to stick with the local places. I'm a Hoffman Weber construction kind of guy. I like that. You know what's nice? And if they're local, then they have the store down there, so if something doesn't go right, you can personally walk in outraged and pissed off. But it's the scams you worry about, right? The out-of-staters coming in. Sometimes they come in from out of the country, which is what has been happening. Listen to this.
I started with an offer for a free home inspection, but homeowners quickly realized that something was wrong.
The contractors weren't really contractors at all, and that's when police went to work. Here's Fox 9's Mary McGuire.
This handwritten estimate with nearly every word misspelled was the key in taking down a group of scammers accused of deliberately damaging homes.
Never seen anything like that before. No handwritten misspellings, nonsensical.
On Monday, Minnetonka police got a call from a woman concerned about so-called contractors offering to fix her home's chimney. The men did an inspection and returned with photos of the damage, but she later found broken pieces of brick in her yard and called the company listed on the invoice, learning the crew at her home had no connection to the actual legitimate business.
She in turn called us, and our detectives put together a sting operation.
2 adult men were taken into custody, along with 2 teenage boys, but authorities think about a half a dozen more people could be involved. They gave fake names and fake passports when arrested, but with the help of Homeland Security, police determined the group is originally from the UK.
Homeowners should be extra cautious if it's certainly if it's an unsolicited knock on the door, that they had not reached out to ask somebody to give a bid.
Well, yeah, but they do that, right? After the storms, they just come rolling through town. You'll see they'll roll up and get out with their clipboard. I think what I take from this is anyone with an English or Irish accent that wants to climb up on your roof, don't let them do it. Shady, shifty. Why are they wanting to get up there? Yeah, so.
Lead to something.
What?
Spicy.
Right, you go for the foreign dudes, don't you? If you've got an accent, Candace is all about you. She wants to get to know you better,
yeah, you can come
intimately,
on my roof.
in a biblical way. Climb on up there, boys. I'll meet you up there. They just want to scam you. They just want your money, Candace.
They can have it.
All right. Bring those tools in here. Now I'm all distracted. Did you see the best diner in Minnesota, according to Reader's Digest? Al's Breakfast right over here. I'm looking at a big picture of pancakes. I'm going to close that story. We've got to move on to more important news this morning. Minnesota State Fair has announced the new attractions for 2023. I was hoping for something crazy. I wanted the thrill rides, those crazy thrill rides like the Intimidator 305 or, the sodomizer, just something
Nice.
crazy, you know?
Do you go on a lot of weird rides at the fair?
Yeah, I mean, I like doing the ejector seat. I've done that a bunch of times. And some of those weird ones, you know, the roller coasters, they don't get too extreme at the Minnesota State Fair. But yeah, if they have anything nuts out there, I like to get into that. That really crazy boat ride.
Oh, I had the.
The
That's
ones that
my
go around in a
favorite.
circle.
No.
No, what is
the
it?
love thing.
Yeah, no, the old.
Oh, Ye Old Mill.
Yeah,
Mill,
I
thank
go
you.
on it every year. I love it. I love it so much.
All right, I did quit going on it after a time. After the girls got a little bit older, I was like, all right, I'm not just going to get in there myself.
Can
or-
4 people fit?
Go
Because
alone.
yeah, we should go. All of us should go on it for sure.
You're
Yeah,
not
we
supposed
should.
to go on that unless you're going to make out.
Well, I mean, I'm not kicking it off the table.
All right, fine.
But I don't know if we can go all 4 of us. I mean, Steve's so big too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you don't want it to tip in there. You don't want to tip over and get in that water. How long's that water been? When's the last time they flushed that water out? Oh, speaking of, I saw, I don't know, it was in this latest storm that came through, the one overnight, it flipped some pontoons. Oh. Yeah, out at some of the lakes. A fire in Plymouth just before 2 a.m. But anyway, the reason I mentioned the flip pontoons and snap power poles, how do you flip a pontoon back over? I mean, I know how nature does it, but how do we flip a pontoon over? That sounds weird. But Ye Old Mill, yeah, that one's been around forever. Some of the new attractions this year, yeah, nothing over the top. There's the Sweet and Selfie Experience. Lame.
Oh, I don't. The Candyland? Yeah.
Sweet interactive exhibit makes for a great photo op full of larger-than-life candy.
Yeah.
Fairgoers. Okay, all right. You know, you got to get yourself in that state of mind when you go out to the fair, right? It's because it's going to be campy and all chic, but that's what it's all about. Sensory-friendly morning at Mighty Midway and Kidway. The busyness of the state fair can be overwhelming for some, so try and better accommodate those with sensory sensitivities. There will be a morning of reduced light brightness and sound volume. That's for the hungover people. They were at the beer garden the day before, closed it down. How about the Can Wonderland mini golf on a stick?
How does that work?
Yeah, it comes to the State Fair with fun for the whole family, Tony. This 9-hole course is based off State Fair landmarks. Yeah, like Space Tower, Haunted House, Ye Old Mill, right? Giant
cool.
Slide, that kind of stuff. So they've put some mini golf out there for you. What else do they have? Universally designed changing restroom. Okay. Yeah. How is the 50th annual amateur talent contest make the list of the latest new attractions at the State Fair? It's the 50th annual
Yeah, that's annual.
amateur talent
Maybe
contest.
the submissions are low and they just got to get it in wherever they can.
All right, all right. What would we do? What could we do as a team out there?
Juggle.
No.
Not me.
You can juggle me.
Let's just play catch.
All right, we'll just get out there and just play catch.
Catch.
Well, here's the Future Projections Canopy, the immersive art installation presented. You lost me with the art. Oink booth. There's a new look to the Oink booth. It's been revamped to reflect a real modern-day pig barn. Oh, well, that doesn't sound cool at all.
No.
The newly constructed booth has more educational games and interactive activities about pigs in Minnesota. What you call me? Theater Day at Dan Patch. Yeah, then it just gets into some. They've redeveloped the Gate 9 at Como Avenue. Oh, boy.
I like going to the dog booth, see all the different breeds of dogs. And I do
yeah.
like going to the art building just to see the weird creations.
I do. Well, because they have the youngsters from all around, and they go in there. Quite the imaginations. I'll rip through there as
There's
well.
the
I don't
seed
go in
art
buildings.
one.
You don't like the buildings?
Check
I don't
out the
go in
seed
buildings.
art.
No.
The
Why
what?
would I go in a building at the fair?
The attractions.
It's all hot in there, and
It
then
is.
people got to bump into people.
Yeah.
Oh, I like going to. There's one that has all the products you can get on infomercials.
All the products you can get on infomercials.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, weird like the smart mop and
That Whammo
just these,
towel.
these weird gimmicks and gadgets.
Do they have any of the
Great
any of the
fun.
pitchers and any of the professional pitchers in there pitching them?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds interesting. Well, there's some
Doesn't
of the new
it?
attractions at the State Fair. A little anticlimactic, I think. Not as exciting as the food. The new food coming out to the State Fair. All right, we're going to drive on. Remember, Mike Evans, for about a month or two, has been telling us Kevin Spacey is going to jail. The verdict is in. We'll find out what that is here at 6:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. The KQ Morning Show is back. 92 KQRS.
Yeah, it's Zep, Tony, Candace this morning. Steve taking a scheduled day off. It is time for your Mike Evans Hollywood Report. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Hey, going good, better than earlier in the week. It's brought to you by our fabulous friends over at Marcus Theaters. Don't forget, Marcus Theaters proud to announce Value Tuesday. $6 for any movie and 20% all concessions. And by the way, we don't mention this enough. They have great food.
Oh, yeah.
Over there. I mean, they're just fabulous. Called the Five Lounge is what they call them. Mm-hmm. Go in there and try some of the food, and then the Dream Loungers, have a smile have to be surgically removed.
Yeah, good way to sit out a heat wave.
Boy, isn't that the truth? So today's National Chili Dog Day. I don't know about you, chili dog's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, love them, them.
We knew you were going to bring that up.
Well, we were talking about it. It's one of those days you get excited about chili dog. I'm already planning my chili dog day for lunch and dinner. I'm going to hit a couple of spots.
Best chili dog, Pink's Chili Dogs in Hollywood. Fabulous. Shocking news, of course, the sad news, that Sinead O'Connor, dead at 56. Her son, Shane, committed suicide just 18 months ago. She had battled some mental illness herself. Shocked a lot of people when she ripped up a picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live. But, boy, I sure loved her song, Nothing Compares to You. Very nice lady. Had some demons, but we sure will miss her. May she rest in peace.
So we don't know cause of death?
We don't know. No, 56, young. So, it's time for me to fess up. Look, my scoops are right 80% of the time. My predictions are right about 70% of the time, and I always point it out when I'm right. So I got to point it out when I'm wrong. I mean, I got to do it. And boy, was I wrong about Kevin Spacey and the sex assault charges. 9 different sexual assault charges from 7 different people. And while I predicted that there would be some guilty verdicts, not a single one.
Wow.
Kevin Spacey acquitted on all charges.
What?
But you know what? I've been wrong before when it comes to criminal matter. I know that you're going to think this is crazy, but you know I covered the O.J. Simpson trial for you during the whole trial. Hell, I thought O.J. Simpson was guilty.
Fool.
I know. What were you thinking there?
I don't know.
Is it on these sexual assault things? Is it just too much of, in this case, a he said, if they just don't have the physical evidence or a corroborating story, it's just too hard to prove?
I think a lot of it is that, and also in England, boy, their faces are turned by stars. I mean, I think there was a little bit of that as well, but a lot of he said, yeah. So as I wipe the egg from my face, I got a love nugget for you. For years, Liz Cundy has been one of the most respected journalists in England, and she has better scoop percentage than I do. Yesterday, Lizzie said something that I've said for months now, that Harry and Meghan's marriage is over, but she had more. She says that Harry spends a lot of nights alone at a hotel without Meghan, that he's taken a trip to Africa alone. Meghan was not even invited. And that Netflix is negotiating with Harry for a project as long as Meghan is not involved. The Netflix officials calls Meghan a maintenance problem.
No, high maintenance problem. When is this marriage over, do you think?
I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking under 6 months.
Okay.
Maybe right after the holidays, though.
Yeah.
Odds and ends, last week I told you that Jennifer Lawrence would eat a tuna fish sandwich before kissing scenes just so the guys wouldn't get any ideas. Candace knows all about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's my trick.
But apparently she's not the only actress to do that kind of thing. Scarlett Johansson reportedly eats onion sandwiches.
Oh.
Kristen Stewart, anchovies. Emily Blunt chews garlic. Emma Stone will eat a hard-boiled egg just before they say action. There isn't much action going on after that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised. And the guys have to act their way through that, I guess.
I know. TV news, despite an outcry by the fans to fire Katy Perry for being mean to American Idol contestants, she will not be fired. She'll be back next year, but I hear no raise. And while tickets to the Barbie movie were kind of flat Monday and Tuesday, Oppenheimer tickets actually went up. Maybe the mustard's come off the mustard has come off the chili dog for Barbie and Ken. Not that Ken had any mustard on his hot dog, but that's another story completely. You guys doing a great job. Sound great. Everything going good in Minneapolis?
Yeah, we're cruising right along here. This is our hot time of the year here. So it's hot, it's muggy, we've got storms moving through. But, we rock on.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I'll be talking to you in January. You'll be singing a different tune.
Yes, we will. A very different tune come this January. Well, you take care. I have about 4 or 5 friends battling a cold. There's a summer cold going on out there right now. And I know you've been battling as well. Hope you feel better.
I'm feeling better. In fact, I'm even thinking about playing golf today.
Oh, attaboy.
Just to get out rather than laying around the house all day.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm feeling better, but thanks a lot. Guys, have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow. See you.
All right, there he goes. Mike Evans, Hollywood Report. That Kevin Spacey thing. There was just so many allegations. They said 9 in this latest trial that I thought they might get him. Getting back to that onion sandwich from Scarlett Johansson, that was with Matt Damon, and that one may have been a mistake. That may not have been premeditated. Here he is talking about it.
It was hell. Okay, first of all...
She was mean, and then...
No, what happened was we did a shot before lunch, and it was like this nice little 2-shot that ended in the kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good. And we went to lunch, and she and I both thought it was over.
And she had some garlic
She ate like an onion sandwich for
Good
lunch.
for her,
and she came in, and Cameron Crowe had set the camera up, and it was like a tight shot of the kiss. And she goes, "Oh, shit." She goes, because I literally just had like an onion sandwich. I thought we did this.
But were you still sort of slightly aroused getting to do that with her or not?
No, I was making fun of her the entire
Okay,
time
good.
about her onion breath, which I didn't even smell.
I would mash with Scarlett Johansson, onion breath, whatever you've got on your breath. Just
Right.
not another guy's onion breath on your breath.
Cover her with anything.
Yeah, anything. Chili dog, cover her in chili. How about that? Yeah, I know Candace laughed because I was digging on the Chili Dog song. Jack and Diane, Mellencamp. We just heard so good here at the top of the hour. Jack and Diane, he mentions the Chili Dog. I asked AI to produce a Jack and Diane version that only uses Chili Dog.
Love it.
Not
Where
bad.
are you going to go to get a chili dog today?
I don't know. I actually just started plotting that. There's a place over in St. Paul, and I'm forgetting the name of it, right there on 7th. In the old diner car, they specialize in the Chicago dogs. You know what place I'm talking about?
There's a place in Northeast called Frankie's.
Frankie's. I like
That's good.
Frankie's, too. Okay, maybe Frankie's. Maybe it's a 4-stop day for me. Maybe I just keep driving from place to place. I have a chili dog here. By the time I get to the next place, a chili dog. What's better on a near 100-degree day with a lot of humidity than hot, steamy chili dogs? And then I'll go out for a jog. What do you think?
Wearing a sweater.
Throw up.
And the chili dog spewing. And then I'd be hungry for another chili dog. Travis Kelce, how many damn Super Bowl rings does one have to obtain to meet this Taylor Swift chick? Did you hear about this? Travis Kelce was on a podcast with his bro, who plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he was at the Taylor Swift concert in Kansas City recently and tried to meet her and give her his phone number.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, I know you went to the Taylor Swift concert. How was it?
Yeah, well, I was disappointed that she doesn't talk before or after her shows because she has to save her voice for the 44 songs that she sings. So I was a little butthurt I didn't get to hand her one of the bracelets I made for her.
You made her a bracelet?
Yeah, if you're up on Taylor Swift concerts, there are friendship bracelets, and I received a bunch of them being there, but I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it. Not right now.
Your number's in 87 or your phone number?
You know which one. She doesn't meet anybody, or at least she didn't want to meet me, so I took it personal.
She probably just hasn't gotten over the Super Bowl yet. She's a big Eagles fan. Maybe she just made something up and just didn't want to talk to you.
Damn it.
He's pretty funny.
I know. Travis Kelce can't even meet her. Although I heard, it's a rumor. I hope I don't get sued, but I heard she, got the herp from John Mayer anyway.
Huh. This is part of the process, though. You get in the media, and they'll meet.
Yeah.
Start talking about it.
She'll hear about this, right? And then one of her people will get a hold of
She seems like a fake person. I don't feel like she's a real person. She literally seems just like a fake person.
It's not fake herp.
God, we're going to get a bunch of Swifties out in the parking lot, going to bum rush us.
Hey, I love her. I'm just saying, she seems like a weird entity that is not real.
Come to think of it, I don't know anything about her personally. Not that I'm a Swiftie or ever have been. I respect her talent or whatever. She is who she is. Seems super talented, been around for a long time, sold a lot of records. But you don't know. She doesn't show up in the tabloid trash, right? Maybe she is a, AI-generated human being. I don't know. Yeah, but she just stays out of it.
Yeah.
You only hear about her big world
What
tours.
does she do all day? Yeah.
Kanye. The only time it gets trashy is when someone like Kanye West, rushes her on stage and makes her part of the story. And then her comment was, "Oh, well, what are you gonna do?" Right?
That's so him.
Yeah, I know. Candace, I was thinking about you when I heard this story, read this story. A 19-year-old man so excited to see his favorite band in concert that he literally screamed his lungs out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, doctors say the young man screamed so much and so loud that he suffered a ruptured and collapsed
What?
lung. Good. These people at concerts. Now, listen, we go to concerts now. It's, not the teeny boppers, right, screaming it out. Except for that one drunk dude. Woo!
Yeah, the woo.
Yeah! Yeah! Shut up, man. What if they're recording this for a live album or something? Now they can't use it. Yeah, 1 minute after this guy was having the time of his life, the next he was feeling pain in his chest and having trouble breathing. He ultimately passed out, was rushed to the hospital where a doctor diagnosed him with a ruptured lung from screaming with too much force. You freak.
You
freak. Weird. I mean, come on.
Well, you just had weak lungs. Maybe he was just, maybe he was a smoker.
He's 19 years old.
The kids be dabbing these days.
Well, that's right, with the dabbing. Yeah.
I was at an Aerosmith concert, and the guy kept yelling, "Let's go. Let's go." Like the entire show. They're going already.
Yeah, it's more of a sports thing.
Yes.
Before the game starts or, I don't know, while they're in the huddle. Yeah, shut up, dummy. Hoople heads. By the way, this happened before with the punctured lung. In 2017, a 16-year-old girl in Dallas suffered a collapsed lung from screaming at One Direction.
Oh.
Well.
My friend Caitlin had a collapsed lung at one of our basketball games in high school. Just happened at the game. I'm not sure if it was related to her, like screaming super loud, but it happened and it was really scary.
She was a player. No one would throw her the ball.
It was just totally normal day. She was, totally healthy. It was very strange. Then me and my friend Felicia and I went to the hospital to visit her after the game, and we were like blasting Down with the Sickness in the elevator. We were like rocking out.
That is a song. Once it gets into your head, it's kind of like the Chili Dog song. I won't do it to you. I'm not going to do it to you. We have a lot of show for you here this morning. We are giving away Dave Chappelle tickets. That's got to be the high. When they're holding a comedy show at the Xcel Energy Center, it's a big ticket. Dave Chappelle coming to town September 23rd, and we're playing Little Kid or Drunk Adult at 7:30. So I'm kind of stoked about that. Yeah, it's hot. It's late July. It's hot. It's super hot. It's hot everywhere, but now it's finally caught up with us here. And I think yesterday was about 95 degrees. I think we're supposed to get to about 97 today. Of course, we've got lots of fun humidity with it, and not everyone gets air conditioning. Not everyone's just going to escape into a nice air-conditioned room. For example, us here at KQ with no air conditioning. Gets a little warm in here, so we have some hot weather hacks. Some are clever. I think some are dumb. You decide for yourself here at 7 o'clock. We're getting into hot weather hacks. Hang tight. It ain't me. Was it you? It's not me.
Maybe.
Might have been Candace.
Probably.
And Tony. And Zepp checking in today. Steve will be back with us tomorrow. We're talking about some hot weather hacks. Because... like at my place that I'm staying at, the living room, we have one of those wall air conditioners. Living room, nice.
Built in the wall, okay.
Yeah, but just built into the wall, just like a regular old air, stuck there in the wall. But it's not central air, right? Forced air in the house. So when you go into the bedroom, it gets a little hot, a little stuffy. I've strategically placed some fans around to get that cool air into the bedroom, but it gets a little stuffy. So I like to click on these hot weather hacks. Not everyone has, air conditioning blowing in their face all the time. For example, us here at KQRS. Maybe you have one of these buildings you're working in, an old renovated warehouse where the air conditioning doesn't work. So anyway, collection of hot weather hacks. You guys tell me if you think these make sense or they're just dumb.
All right.
Buckle your seatbelt when you leave your car so that when you get back in, the metal buckle won't be so hot it'll burn you. Well, are you wearing clothes? Driving around naked, Tony?
That's not a terrible idea. I can see like flipping it upside down.
Yeah, perhaps. That and they're plastic now, not like the old metal buckles we used to have back in the day that we didn't use. And once we started using them, they made them plastic so they don't burn us. But yeah, I suppose if you're a scantily clad Candace, and you're showing a little skin.
My butt got burned yesterday because I went to my friend Shelby's pool and I just wore like a big T-shirt.
Yeah.
Over my swimsuit, and my butt got burned.
Butt got burned?
So your hot seat.
Oh, yeah. I sat down. Yeah, that whole thing. The burning of the seat. Do you use those window shades at all on your
No.
vehicle? No, yeah, I don't use those either. I had one for a while. Someone got me one. They're like, here's this. I thought, okay, yeah, but I never used it.
The little fake sunglasses.
Yeah.
It's just a good reminder that I'm alive. It makes me feel alive.
That's right. Burning your bum. If your home's HVAC system is struggling to keep the house cool, change that dirty, nasty-ass filter. That's a good one. We've heard this one. We talk about this one every year in July when it gets hot. Make sure your fan, the ceiling fan, is switched to spin counterclockwise. You want that downdraft, push that cold air down towards you. There's usually just a little switch up there. Do you know about that one, Candace?
No.
You have a ceiling fan. There's a little switch on the bottom. It'll reverse the ceiling fan's spin, so you want it going counterclockwise, pushing the cold air down.
When you walk through your house, you spin counterclockwise as you walk.
Some nights I do when I get home. How about putting your suntan lotion in the fridge to enhance its cooling effects?
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, for a moment, doesn't it? That might happen. Suntan lotion in the fridge. Put a few plastic bottles, 3/4 full of water in the freezer. When the water's frozen, put the bottle in front of a fan. Boom, you have yourself an air conditioner.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's
nothing
pretty
fancy.
White trash. Put a large pot of cool water on the burner over your oven vent when the oven is on. Okay, we're trying too hard.
Company's coming.
Yeah. Get the large pot of water on the burner, kids. Company coming over. How about shaving your entire body? I mean, if you had a friend do it, maybe. Come over and I'll shave your body if you shave my body.
Doesn't really make that much a difference. I've always said, because I have a beard and people are always like, aren't you hot? Well, it's like eyebrows, really aware of it.
Right. Yeah, my cheeks and my chin are just really hot right now. Well, I've talked about, the bush downstairs, manscaping, the swamp crotch. Because I'm a sweater. I sweat a lot, and if I don't trim it up a little bit in the summer, in the winter, it's insulation. I love it.
Do you still have it in
the
do you still have it in the shape of a Z?
I do, as a matter of fact. But it's backwards because I was doing it upside down. I screwed it up. It's a lazy Z, the backwards Z. But it makes a difference. If I do not do that, then I'll sweat right through my pants. I'll be walking around. I know, like you'll see that with women or the guys with the boobs, they get that little under boob sweat going, a couple of, crescent moons under their shirt. You see that? Well, I get that in the crotch, but I got to shave it up. And it just feels good when you're getting it on. Let's be honest.
You should use, what is that, Lume? What's that deodorant, Candace? You know what I'm talking about? They're advertising.
Yeah,
it's like
I've seen
for underboob, butt crack.
Yeah.
And everywhere.
Right. I mean, go ahead and let a little stink out. There's a happy medium between France and America, okay? Here in America, we just slop on so many chemicals that any small scent of natural body odor is repugnant to us, where in Europe, France, for example, almost nothing, and it smells like a sewer over there. So there's a happy medium. I don't know that we need to be, putting deodorant in our butt cracks, you know what I'm saying? There's a time and a place.
What if we get stuck there?
You're applying too much pressure. This is a hack. This is what I call trying to stay cool hack, because this I hadn't heard of. Drink something hot. See what they're doing there with the reverse psychology? Might actually cool you down if you drink something hot. This one I hate. Walk around in wet socks.
Oh, no.
Who wants to walk
not doing that.
Yeah, if I'm just walking around the house in a sock and I step in a little bit of water, then I've got to change the sock. You don't want wet socks. It's a lousy feeling, Or pop your sheets in the freezer before bed.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, pop the sheets in the freezer before bed. What do you guys think?
I'll do it. I'll try anything.
That'd be cool.
Candace will try anything.
It doesn't even have to be hot out.
Remember that, gang. I see also that they've come up with now clothes with built-in fans. So you walk around. Think of those inflatable costumes, the dinosaur, the inflatable costume. Yeah, they're now selling clothes with built-in fans in some areas. This is really popular, actually, over in Japan, but they've just introduced them here in the United States. Looks like New York and L.A., yeah. I don't know if they're here in Minneapolis, but I'm sure you can get some on Amazon. But, yeah, you're walking around and you look just really puffy and big.
What if you gesture wrong and the blades sever your nipple? I mean, where are the little props placed?
Yeah, well, these look like they're down around the waist, and they're fans, and they actually, and then it kind of zips up, and it has a spandex waist thing there because it sort of seals on the wrist, but it seals on the neck too. I don't know. That seems extreme and stupid. I'm just going to go ahead and shave my entire body. If you guys don't mind if I get around to that one.
Go do it.
Good luck with your hot weather hacks. Again, just find some air conditioning. I want to talk about this because yesterday, and Tony, I know you're going to dig this. Candace, you're probably into UFOs and stuff like that too, aren't you?
Yeah, aliens exist.
Yeah, well, according to an ex-Navy pilot and an ex-Pentagon worker, they testified in front of Congress yesterday, told Congress that to learn more, they call them UAPs. Why do they have to rename everything? Unidentified aerial phenomena. What was wrong with UFOs? Now we have another UAPs. I'm going to stick with UFOs for this. They've been spying on and studying alien aircraft and what proof of contact they might have. Retired military officer Major David Grush confirmed that the government has had knowledge of extraterrestrial activity since 1930 and has also recovered crashed aircraft with non-human biological pilots. Here he is testifying in front of Congress yesterday about recovering non-human pilots.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
All right, retired
One just
military
flew
officer.
by.
Yeah, that was just a flyby. Major David Grush there testifying in front of Congress. I assume, and I don't know why I assume this, probably wrongly, that if you're testifying in front of Congress, you've been vetted a little bit. Not every nut job standing on a soapbox out there going, "It's the end of the world, the aliens are coming," is going to end up in front of Congress. Like I said, he is a former military officer, worked at the Pentagon, says he has some eyewitness. Of course, he doesn't have the evidence. We're waiting for somebody to get out with some evidence, right? But the government will take care of them, I'm sure. But there he is talking about it, that they actually have biological proof, some tissue samples and crash debris from these UFOs.
Yeah, I mean, these are legitimate witnesses and professional grade participants in the programs. And to even at this point be so stunned and shocked that there's extraterrestrial life is so preposterous, and everything is classified.
Yeah. Well, where I come in at it is, it's one thing, of course, there's life out there in the universe somewhere. It's a vast universe, billions of galaxies, and it's only getting bigger with the Webb telescope. Now they don't even think the Big Bang happened, that our universe is just one of many universes that exist. So obviously there's life out there, but that it's, achieved space travel and got here. I guess, that certainly makes sense. I just want proof. We've got these guys talking. Nobody's really paying attention. How about this? A Navy fighter pilot, Ryan Graves, was asked how he knew that UFOs weren't American or even human-made, and he had this answer in front of Congress yesterday.
How do you know that these were not our aircraft?
Some of the behaviors that we saw in a working area, we would see these objects being at 0.0 Mach, that's zero airspeed, over certain pieces of the ground. So what that means, just like a river, if you throw a bobber in, it's going to float downstream. These objects were staying completely stationary in Category 4 hurricane winds. These same objects would then accelerate to supersonic speeds, 1.1, 1.2 Mach, and they would do so in very erratic and quick behaviors that I don't have an explanation for.
Yeah, that sounds weird. Although, our government might be working on some super secret stuff that we're not aware of, and or Navy pilots. They don't, brief everyone in the military about the super secret stuff. So there might be an explanation for that. I guess we're not going to find out from our government. They're just not going to fess up. They never do. That's what governments do. They don't fess up. They jive us.
Obviously part of it is black ops operations from the military, but the rest is there's so many videos and documented testimonials. I go really deep down the rabbit hole in this stuff, and I'm obsessed. So yes, it exists and it's fascinating.
what we're going to need is we're going to need a Close Encounters of the Third Kind moment here, right? Where that's just, we take the government out of it and they just come down here and land on Earth and get out and uncork some champagne and we all start to party. I hope that's the procedure. Either that or it's a world invasion or something like that. We're like, oh my God, Tony was right. I feel like such a jackass all these years arguing with him on the air. He totally called it. Oh, Tony saved me. And he's going to be down in his bunker that he's been working on for the last 26 years.
No, I won't hide. I'll welcome them with open arms.
Yeah, because they're your brothers.
Yeah, did you see Mars Attacks? Did you see it? Let's switch it up here. All right. Well, it's because we still don't know. That's what pisses me off. You know, I could take the tack that you do, Tony. Like they exist, but I want to know. I want to see the proof. I want to meet them. I want to talk to them. You know, I want to high five them. I want to go out and get drunk with them. That kind of stuff. And maybe I already have. If you've watched Men in Black.
Yeah, totally. That's
They're
what I
hiding
think's
here on
going
the planet.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about food. The Skittles is coming out with, on August 5th, they're releasing limited edition packets of mustard-flavored Skittles. What the hell's going on there? Why?
Why not?
Mustard
Live a little.
flavors. You know what? I like salty and sweet as much as the next person, but mustard is not. I wouldn't put that in the salty sweet category. Like chocolate-covered pretzels. That's salty and sweet.
Oh, that's so good.
That, sea salt on caramel chocolate. That's salty sweet. Mustard and Skittles.
Yeah, I'll try it.
What kind of mustard? Is it just your average
Yellow?
French's?
Yeah, it's French's. French's mustard. They're getting together. Skittles and French's mustard are collaborating on this. The two companies are giving away packs through an online contest. They have a mustard mobile handing out packages in Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and New York City. Not bringing the mustard mobile to the metro here, I guess. Mustard-flavored skillets. All right, that one doesn't work for me. What do you think about this one? Chocolate deviled eggs.
I would try pretty much anything that's covered in chocolate.
That's true.
Just covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
No, right, exactly. I had a friend that from China brought back some chocolate-covered ants and beetles. I ate them. You know what they tasted like? Chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So
I had
what
chocolate-covered bees.
Bees?
Yeah. They're just like nuts.
You monster. You can't.
Yeah,
bees.
we need bees.
That's like eating chocolate-covered children's hearts.
Yeah. So what part is chocolate? Is it like the filling? Is it like a chocolate mousse filling, or is it actually the eggs?
Yeah, this is one of these state fair concoctions, but not here. But it's an egg, but instead of the deviled, the whipped up yolk in there, you have whipped up chocolate.
Okay.
So you've got the egg whites and the chocolate-filled egg whites.
Okay.
Yeah, be good
You're trying
consistency.
too hard. Yeah, let's have some eggs, and then afterwards we'll have some chocolate. We'll try that. How about free Subway for life?
Ooh.
Yeah, Jimmy John's. I'm a big Jimmy. There's not a Subway place I'm not a fan of. There really isn't. I would go sub shop near me, and I go to the nearest sub shop. Doesn't have to be anyone in particular, but this is Jimmy John's. If you legally change your name to Subway, what do these always do, these stupid things? Is Jimmy John's hurting? I know there's a lot of sub places out there, and you've got to stand out, but if you legally change your name to Subway, and this is the part I love, you may.
That's from Jimmy John.
Was it? What was it? You're dead to me! You're dead to me! They're taking applications at subwaynamechange.com August 1st through the 4th, and you only may. So if you legally change your name to Subway, let's say that's going to affect your Social Security and just everything. Your name. I mean, it's a big deal to change your name to maybe win a contest. Who's doing this? Anyone that would do this, I wouldn't want associated with my company. They're going to be some real weirdos, right?
Yeah, McLovin is cool. Subway.
Yeah. Well, they did last year, the Superfan got a tattoo of the Subway logo in exchange for free Subway for life. That I get. It's a tattoo, whatever, throw on a shirt or whatever, and you cover it up. But changing your name, that's a process. That's a pain in the ass.
What if you work for another fast food place and you have to wear a name tag and it says Subway?
Oh.
That's going to be confusing.
Yeah, that is going to be confusing.
It ain't right.
No, it's not right. Moving along. No one here is legally changing their name to Subway. Might be a cool radio name. Tony Subway.
Ooh, I like
Hey, Subway.
that.
I like it. Let's just start calling him Subway till he changes his name.
Well, does it have to be, do you get to choose first or last name, or do you just get the one?
I didn't click on the subwaynamechange.com website. I didn't get that far into it. Oh, yeah. All right, well, there you go.
It's probably just the first name. Subway Lee.
Maybe just go, one, or Subway. Mr. Way.
Mr. Way.
That's weird. Sub, people are going to think, it's some kinky fetish. Hi, I'm Sub. Ooh, I'm dominant. Let's get together. Good news, bad news for middle-aged women. You notice I didn't say Candace.
Thank
She's
you.
not there yet. Yeah, she's not there. Good news, bad news for middle-aged women. Wine has been shown to improve your skin.
Oh.
The bad news is it's got to be non-alcoholic wine.
What?
Who's making non-alcoholic wine, and why are they making it? Stop it. That's called grape juice.
Yes.
Welch's makes it.
Drink water. Why
Give
are
it
you
to
going
the
to drink
kids.
straight up sugar for no reason? You're not even going to get a buzz?
To improve your skin, Candace, these are the things you're going to have to start thinking about as you're approaching middle age. It's called prune juice, whatever. It keeps you regular and improves your skin. You've got a lot of health things to start thinking about, Missy, in your future.
Well, I got time, right?
Yeah, you got time.
Not that much.
They say laughing is good for your health, good for all sorts of things. How about laughing with the big superstar comedian Dave Chappelle Saturday, September 23rd at Xcel Energy Center? And how about doing it for free with a couple of tickets you win right now on the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text line? We'll take callers 9 and 2. We're playing Little Kid or Drunk Adult. 651-989-ROCK. Oh, by the way, prize provided by Live Nation and on sale today for that Dave Chappelle show at 10 a.m. 651-989-ROCK. Dial up. Good luck.
The KQ Morning Show is back, and we always want to hear from you. Call or text 651-989-ROCK. 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
That's right. A couple of people on 651-989-ROCK all ready to play Little Kid or Drunk Adult for a couple of tickets to see Dave Chappelle. It's a big comedy show when it's coming to the Xcel Energy Center, and I'll probably sell that place out. And that's on September 23rd. Tickets go on sale this morning at 10 o'clock. But first, we're going to give away a pair. Little Kid, Drunk Adult, Tony.
I'm not that intoxicated.
Mommy, I have to go potty. Daddy.
Drinks are on me. The KQ Morning Show presents Little Kid or Drunk Adult.
I'm so wasted.
Let's do it.
I know. An innocent little kid or a sloppy drunk adult. I love a game show we can all relate to. And I'm doing it a little bit differently, just mechanically on my end, so I'm going to try not to screw this up. Not a great thing to do when you're shorthanded. Down a man on the show this morning, but let's see if this works. Who's our first contestant, Candace?
Eric from White Bear Lake.
Good morning, Eric. How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning.
How's life treating you this morning?
Oh, good. Just got to work 20 minutes ago, and my boss is probably wondering why I'm sitting outside.
For a very good reason. Just tell him you're gassy. You're not feeling well today. And
Start smoking.
Right. Just sit out there and hit some heaters for a while. That's your right. All right, Eric, here we go. We know you've been a little kid. I assume you've been a drunk adult at some point in your life?
Yeah, once or twice, maybe.
Once or twice. So this is how this works. Someone's going to give you the setup here. We're going to start with Andy. Andy's going to give you a scenario, and then you're going to tell us if he was a little kid or a drunk adult. Here we go.
I fell asleep in the shower, got out soaked and naked, and passed out on the couch.
Ooh. Came out of the shower, soaked, naked, passed out on the couch. As a little kid or a drunk adult?
I want to say drunk adult.
I was a little kid. I got up really early one weekend so I could play my video games, but my mom had a rule. We couldn't do anything until we showered first. So I got up at like 5 a.m., get in the shower, sat down, and fell asleep. Woke up about 30 minutes later and apparently got up to the shower and went to the couch to play video games where I was found naked and dripping wet by my mom. She added a new rule that day. We weren't allowed out of the bed until 7 a.m. on weekends.
No, mom rules. Lay in bed till, even on Christmas morning? Come on, mom. That one could have gone either way. And it feels like some of these are tricks, too, because, right, I thought getting out of the shower and passing out, that suggests a drunk, but no, little kid that time. All right. Eric, this is a tough one. I can't count how many times someone has won with just one correct. I think we had one time where it was 0-0 and we went to a tiebreaker. All right, now we give you Miranda, Eric.
I tripped over a crack in the parking lot, fell into the person in front of me, and made them trip, and they lost a few teeth.
Ooh, okay. Tripped in the parking lot into someone who then face planted and lost some teeth.
I want to go kid on that one.
I was a drunk adult. We got overserved at brunch at this restaurant in the mall. I wasn't watching where I was going, tripped over a crack in the floor, went right into this woman in front of me who had her hands filled with bags. Those went flying. She went face first into the ground and busted her lip and lost a few teeth. That was an expensive brunch. We were asked by mall management never to come back.
Oh, I've never been banned from a mall before, but Miranda has been. All right. Don't panic, Eric. You're 0 for 2. Let's see if you can't get this next one. Just get on the board, and we'll see how our next contestant does. Little kid or drunk adult? This time it's Troy.
I stole money from a bunch of Girl Scouts.
Troy stole money from a bunch of Girl Scouts. Little kid or a drunk adult?
Oh, that's all the clue, huh? Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to say little kid.
I was a little kid. Yeah. It was the late 90s, and I desperately wanted a Game Boy, but money was tight, and my mom wouldn't buy me one. So I saw these girls I knew from school and saw they were selling Girl Scout cookies at the grocery store, and they had a wad of cash. So I went up and talked to them. When they weren't looking, I snatched their cash and took off. I may have only gotten 100 feet before they tackled me to the ground and started kicking me. They took their money back, and then one of the girls spit in my face. The story was all around the school on Monday, and I never lived it down.
I feel that. The Game Boy was something else.
Right. You might think some Girl Scouts there, and of course, they're just loaded with cash. Might be an easy target, but Troy found out otherwise. And Eric is on the board. You have won, my man. In this game show, that's not bad. All right, hang tight, Eric. Candace, our next contestant.
That's a funny name.
All right.
I can't
Good
read
morning.
my writing.
No?
Oh, Lisa from Pine City.
Lisa, good morning.
Good morning.
How's Pine City? Still there this morning?
Yeah, still there.
All right,
And
Lisa.
I do have a lot of experience as a drunk adult.
Recent experience, Lisa?
Well, last weekend.
All right, well, sure. Well, I like coming up to Pine City. What was that bar? Rusty Nail or something? What was that bar I used to always go to in Pine City? I can't remember now. I don't know.
Rail?
Maybe that was it. Who knows?
Someone's house.
I've done that before. All right, Lisa, here we go. You understand how this works, little kid or drunk adult, right?
Correct.
First up, it's Anna.
I made out with the mannequin at the mall and was asked to leave.
Anna made out with a mannequin at the mall and then was asked to leave. But as a little kid or a drunk adult?
That would be a drunk adult.
I was a little kid. I was shopping with my mom on a weekend, which I hated at the time, and wandered off and decided I was going to make out with one of the mannequins in the boys section. That's when a worker came up and asked where my parents were, took me to my mom, and before the guy could say anything, she said, "Brenda, what kind of trouble have you gotten yourself into?" And I blurted out, "I was just doing what you and Daddy do when you have beers."
Ooh. Well, stinker. All right, 0 for 1, but you need 2 to win this thing, 1 to tie, Lisa. Next up, Diane.
So I farted on a microphone in a room that was packed with 60 people.
All right. Now, so Diane farted on a microphone in a room packed with 60 people as a little kid or a drunk adult, Lisa?
Oh, that could be both.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'll go with the drunk adult again.
I was a drunk adult.
Yeah.
I went to yoga class, and I let one of my girlfriends talk me into having 1 to 2 mini glasses of wine right before I had to teach a class. And I wear a headset with a microphone. So I was in a wind removing pose, and I knocked the headset off, and the pose was doing what it was doing. And the mic fell right by my butt, and the fart echoed through the entire studio. The way it happened actually made it look like I did it on purpose, and one of the guys from my class on his way out thanked me for actually making yoga fun.
All right, well, you're on the board. We now have ourselves a tie, and this is, just like you write it up. You want it coming down to the last little kid or drunk adult. Lisa, we give you Slayton.
I hit myself with a brick.
That's it. That's all you get. Slayton hit himself with a brick.
Sounds like a drunk.
I was a drunk adult.
There it is.
I was convinced this guy was sleeping with my girlfriend. So one night I was out with some friends getting hammered, and I had a bright idea when I saw a brick laying in a parking lot. So I had my friend drive me to this guy's house, and I got close to a bedroom window, threw the brick as hard as I could. Unfortunately, to my surprise, the brick bounced off the window, came back, and hit me in the face. I guess he had hurricane windows. I don't know. But no one was home, fortunately. But he was banging my girlfriend, and they're married now.
And you have a scar on your face from a brick. You know what that means, Lisa. You are our winner. Yeah, congratulations. Sorry, Eric. That was this one is a flip a coin kind of deal anyway. You talk about a game of chance, but Lisa has 2 tickets to see Dave Chappelle September 23rd at the Excel Energy Center. Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you, Lisa.
Hold on, Lisa.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Don't run off. Candace has got to get some info from you. And don't be a drunk adult at the Dave Chappelle show. He'll light you up. Or do, and then call and tell us the story.
It's fine. It's a big enough room.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Excel. Nothing wrong with that. She's going to be in the KQ suite, maybe. That would be fun. That's cool. All right. The KQ Morning Show hitting the road for a long weekend. We've been talking about this. I'm stoked. KQ up north with BigDeck.com. I love these guys. You start talking about Jim, Ange, Mike. These are the perfect hosts for KQ listeners up north. We're going to have a good time October 5th through the 8th, Cragun's Resort on Gull Lake.
Oh, it's boozing time.
Yeah, it will be. Join us for the broadcast of the KQ Morning Show, the karaoke part. Karaoke? Did I say karaoke?
That boy.
Oh, I hate when people do that. Stop it.
Karaoke party.
Karaoke.
Just wait on drunk. Happy hour boat cruise, live music. We're going to get in a round of golf. Book your stay now. 92kqrs.com, sponsored by BigDeck.com and Cragun's Resort on Gull Lake. I'm stoked.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I was up there for a wedding one time. I don't think I had a drunken moment. I wonder if that's the one where my buddy got his tie cut off. He was peeing, and some guy came in. He was using the only urinal in this little bathroom, and then there was a couple of stalls, and he was pissed that I guess my buddy was using the one urinal in there, and he came back with a pair of scissors and cut his tie off. And then my buddy sits down at the table. We're laughing at him. Like, what the hell happened to your tie? He goes, some guy in the bathroom cut it off. Now, we're drunk, and we're like, what do you mean? What did you do to him? Did you kick his teeth in? No, he's just sitting over there. You took it? So then we got up, and then there was a bit of a scuffle. And I don't think that was the wedding because I was kicked out of that one.
That guy must have been peeing for a long time if the other guy had time to go back and get his scissors and come back.
It was a wedding. There was beer involved.
It was a long peepee.
Yeah, speaking of booze involved, I have this story this morning, kind of tucks in nicely with our little kid or drunk adult. Kind of a bull in a china shop, except this one was a luxury automobile, and the bull was some moron. A 29-year-old, happened in Salt Lake City. Did some day drinking last weekend. That's fun. Decided to break into a Ferrari dealership. Got into the showroom, smashed a big glass window with a rock. Oh, it wasn't that hurricane window. Then he found a $600,000 Ferrari that was unlocked, spotted a set of keys in the center console, and decided to steal it, drove it through the big glass wall, and hit 4 other Ferraris on the way out.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they say, according to this cop report, he caused $100,000 in damage. That's it?
Yeah, I would think more than that.
Right, you drove a Ferrari through a glass window, hit 4 other Ferraris. They're all worth about $500,000 or more, and $100,000. Obviously, the Ferrari still got banged up. Yeah, they found him nearby walking away after he abandoned the car. He told them the whole thing was spur of the moment, that he'd been drinking all day, facing all sorts of fun charges for that as well.
Well, if you weren't planning it, then that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, spontaneous? Well, if you're a little kid, we'd let you get away with it. However, all right. Well, we covered heat hacks this morning, little kid, drunk adult. What is there to talk about? What else this morning? I'll tell you what, at 8:30, we're going to have this guest on. I don't have his name in front of us, but it's 50 Years of Fear, the legacy of The Exorcist. Ooh. I don't care what time of the year it is. I love this stuff in Shocktober, but I'll take it anytime. Mm-hmm. So excited to speak with that author, or no, it's not an author. It's a TV show, Candace? Oh, she's busy licking something right now. Anyway, that interview is coming up here at 8:30. So at 8 o'clock, why don't we talk about sex?
Okay.
All right, we have some results from a new. That applies for the entire 8 o'clock hour. Keep your finger on that trigger, Tony. Yeah, we have some results from a new global sex survey, and you knew it was only a matter of time before they came out with an AI sex toy. That's right. That might be involved. You never know. Please hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
All right, the KQ Morning Show rocks on. Steve taking a day. It's Tony, Candace, and Zep hanging out. Steve will be back tomorrow, and we're talking about sex. Talking about a little sex survey, some sex stuff.
Okay.
A little sex stuff. First, I want to talk about this AI sex toy. Because you knew this was coming. Everything's AI, but what does that even mean anymore? You can just kind of slap AI onto it and people are going to buy it. But this AI sex toy, apparently you can use your mind to get yourself off. Which I think is, yeah, right, exactly. You got to get your mind involved. It's physical as well. A new sex toy powered by brainwaves uses a headset. It's called the Auto Blow AI.
Okay.
A masturbatory device. Participants imagine moving different body parts to activate specific functions, such as starting, slowing, speeding up, or finishing. This mind-controlled fellatio gadget, I guess, designed to eliminate the need to operate a handheld device, which could be a game changer. Well, I suppose if you have mobility issues. Well, what do you have to keep your hands? Oh, I see, hands free. Right. All right, I'm looking at it. So, yeah, you put clips on your ears, then you have to put a little thing on your head. Already, this is getting me out of the mood, right?
This is like very Black Mirror-esque.
It is kind of Black Mirror-esque. But anyway, then you just start thinking about what you want to have happen down there. Then you got to put the contraption on. There's physical devices. So you put the headset on, right? The AI headset. Then you put on the other headset, I guess. We're talking about the guys here. And then you just start thinking about what you want to happen. And it starts doing that to you.
This is revolutionary.
This is revolutionary. They have one for the ladies as well. It's just, you don't slip it on, you slip it in, I guess, and then just start thinking about what you want to have happen down there.
This is great. This is great for me.
Yeah.
I think like masturbation is good.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's healthy, right?
Yeah, and it's safe. And if you don't have to do that as much work, awesome.
Like what Woody Allen always said, don't knock masturbation, it's sex with someone I love.
Right, exactly, right? Hey, you know what? We're talking about, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, that 40% of Gen Zers, the latest Gen Z the generation to come along, is not interested at all in marriage. They're not interested at all in having kids. They're living more for themselves, being a little selfish about life, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Preach.
So, this is where this comes in, right? So we need to make masturbation a little more fun, I guess. I don't know. I'm old school. I get it done
the old-fashioned way?
With my imagination, and a little lotion. It's a hot day, so it's one of my hacks. I pop the lotion into the freezer before. See what I'm doing there?
Yeah, that's a good hack.
All right, yeah. So anyway, this gadget is not ready for prime time, however. They're still, refining it, trying to figure it out. Doesn't look like they're looking for volunteers, though, Tony or Candace. The brain-controlled sex toy will not hit the market anytime soon, but Sloan, that's the name of the company, Sloan, said that such technologies could become more definite with implants like Elon Musk's Neuralink. Yeah, so you won't have to put on the big gadget on your head. You'll just have a Neuralink that they're going to stick into our head, and then we can make all of our phone calls that way. It's this carrying around the phone or wearing the watch, that kind of stuff. It's all going away. They're just going to stick it in our body and, clip it into our brain, and that's how it's going to work. You talk about Black Mirror stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that was like episode 1. They put the Neuralink in there. Of course, they'll be able to control us, but don't they kind of anyway?
Yeah, it's about time. I'm just going to submit. I'm down for everything. Plug me in.
Oh, this is interesting. Maybe not for you as much, Candace, but Sloan's Auto Blow AI device will feature a first-ever adjustable penis gripper. Allows you to customize your sensations. Yeah, some guys like a little more grip, a little less grip. If you've been dating someone, you're like, okay, you were with a gripper. I'm a less gripper guy. You don't have to, it's not a... try to squeeze. It's already full of blood. You don't have to squeeze it out.
I could use that, too. I could just put it on my bicep. around my foot.
What if it's thought controlled? It would just be constant climaxing 24 hours a day.
High five, buddy. That's it. We're just human beings are not going to be an option anytime in the future. Are they? We're just going to all have our little implant, never leaving the house. We'll send our AI version of ourselves off to work to get the job done. And we're just going to sit around at home orgasming all day.
And you can't be discreet. I mean, if you're wearing the big headset, people are going to know what you're doing.
That bulge in your pants. You're not making eye contact. Your eyes are rolling back. What are you doing? Those noises coming out of your studio. That's crazy stuff.
Brian, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, AI, look out. I mean, before it ends humanity, I have a feeling like it's going to be a good time. Right up until the end. And maybe that's the Matrix we'll be in. I love that. And you know what I love mostly about that sound effect? Is it's not two people having sex. Cheech and Chong, right? They're in the back of the van trying to...
I have no idea
It was a guy and a gal. It was a Cheech and Chong. I forget which... Yeah, that's Tommy. And some gal they're trying, but it sounds like this. Yeah. So it works. A company called Lelo makes love toys. Are you familiar? L-E-L-O. Nope. Lelo make love toys. Just released a global survey on sex involving more than 100,000 people taking a survey. So you're only about half. You ever take these surveys? Or you ever? I mean, I'm taking a survey. It's anonymous, so I'm just going to be honest. I think that's the idea.
I know, you'll start getting junk mail and calls.
All right, exactly. All right, well, here are some highlights. America is chaste. We have the second highest percentage of adult virgins in the world. Well, yeah, maybe not, maybe not voluntarily, just not getting it on, right? We're just coming off a pandemic. Give us a moment to get back into it. Japan, number one at 6, but we were, what are we, the second highest percentage of adult virgins. Let's get to work out there, kids. More than half of Americans have slept with 1 to 8 people. That's about the same average as the rest of the world, 1 to 8 sexual partners.
In what period of time?
I mean, if it's a good weekend. I mean, Moondance Jam alone. I'm kidding. Well, I know Candace had some fun up there on the air. This is the only way I know. She had confessed to a little Moondance jamming.
I gotta be careful with my confessions.
Well, don't we all, right? I liked it, when I wasn't dating, when you're free and easy on the show. Of course, you're not. Just go ahead and say, why? Oh, you're afraid of future dudes?
No, I'm not.
Yeah? All right. Let it all hang out there. If they love you, 1 to 8 people, that's the average. I think I'm probably right in the average. The average time, this is the one that blew my mind. The average time for sex. Just get a number in your mind. You can blurt it out if you want. I'm going to get a number in my mind. The average time.
15 seconds. Oh, whoops. Go ahead.
Right, exactly. I just had sex. And the time it took me to think about it. This includes foreplay, by the way. All right, so let's just say by the time you make contact, physical contact with the other person, till the time you're not physically in contact with them any longer, I would have said 15 minutes. I mean, is that rushing it?
Yes.
It is. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm willing to, go for round 2, round 3 if I'm feeling it, if I'm able physically. But I'm just thinking, it depends, because if you're in a relationship for a long time, it's a transaction. You get your cookie, I get mine. Let's do it. We'll do that thing you like first, and then you know how I like to finish. It's kind of like, I know it doesn't sound very romantic, but that's just what ends up happening, I think. But, when you're first starting, first of all, you have these dry spells you go through. So when you get together with someone else, now, you've probably been drinking or something, and it's been a while, and you want it to last. Plus, you're showing off, This is what I can do, and I can do this. Or you're just trying to figure them out, right? Does she respond to this? What about if I tickle this? What if if I lick this or bite that? Am I going to get a response? Anyway, the average time for sex worldwide, including foreplay, is 32 minutes, 30 seconds.
That's too long.
Right? That's not exhausting. 32 minutes, 30 seconds. But if you think back, because I don't know about you guys, there's something about looking at the clock by the bed when you're done. Like, oh, boy, look at that. Yes, it's time for you to go. No, I'm kidding. 9% of Americans say it takes them less than 10 minutes. So it just seems accurate. 19% say it takes over 46 minutes. Okay.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, 91% of Americans either own or regularly use a love toy. 91% of Americans, 9 out of 10. So that's not just women, that's men and women, because there aren't a lot of love toys. We're just talking about the AI love toy for the guys, but there aren't a lot. You got a fleshlight and variations thereof. You know, I mean, if you're a guy and you want to go for the prostate toy, that's your own business. I know it exists out there, but then that's about it. Women, I mean, there's a whole, like, freaking Sears catalog. That's an old, outdated reference, but you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of... When you walk into the store, the guys have a corner over there, you know, like a little portion of the wall, and women have the rest of the store.
Aisles and aisles.
Aisles and aisles. Let your imagination go. There's so much available to you. But 9 out of 10 people own a sex toy. I'm going to be honest, I do not own a sex toy currently.
Are you renting?
I'm renting one. No, they used to bring them by the radio station. I remember it.
Oh, yeah, it's
I remember a couple of... Right, if you wanted to see out here in the pod, they would bring by like a box of sex toys. If you want to really get to know your coworkers, throw out a big box of sex toys in like a common area of the lunchroom or something like that, and then just watch. There's mostly women around here stampede toward the box. There was some elbowing going on. It looked like a Black Friday kind of deal there, down there at Best Buy, you know.
What are the ones that weren't as popular that were just left laying on the table?
So, so anyway, these two women are looking at like this gel sleeve, and they're like, do you put something in it to make it work? And I walked over and I took it from them. I said, this one's for the guys. I'll take that. Thank you very much. And it sucked. It was like some gel sleeve you put on. You're like, no, it's like... it just didn't do much for me.
Well, you tried it.
I tried it because I have an open mind, but I know a lot of guys do not like it when the woman they're in a relationship with get a love toy, especially the married guys. They feel threatened. You know, we're very fragile or when it comes to sex, us men. We're very, self-conscious about it. And if they get a sex toy, I must not be doing the job. I'm like, dude, no, not all the time. You're not doing the job. And how long have you been married? 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 years? You're not. She wants a little more. It's okay. But some guys get really worked up about that. Most Americans own and regularly use a sex toy. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. 24-year-old I dated 5 months ago.
Oh, and so he
Interesting.
didn't. See, when I was single and I would, get together with a single woman and, open the drawer there by the bed, she's like, grab the one that looks like an alligator. Okay. I thought that was exciting.
Grab Wally.
Yeah, Wally.
Wally.
I thought that was exciting. I was like, yeah, you're sexually adventurous. You got stuff in your drawer. I love it. But we're dating a young dude, and he wasn't digging it, huh?
Yeah, I'm done with the young dudes. Also, maybe it's my fault, though, because, it was like the first night.
Did you try to stick it in him? The first night you went right for it?
Whatever.
Bold.
I just got to get it out of the way. If you're going to be weird about it, I got to know up front.
Yeah, okay, right.
I'm
Yeah,
just
why
gonna
screw
waste
around?
my time.
Yeah, 5 dates
dating.
in, a
Ugh,
month and a half.
God.
Who's got time for
What did he do, though? I mean, was he like, ish?
He just wasn't
Or
into
was
it.
he scared?
I was like, you should want to be into this. You should want to, use this and have some fun. I mean, I don't know why you're not. If you think I'm like sexy and attractive, you should want to see me have an orgasm.
Bravo, Candace Ashley
for the day.
Wheeler.
All right, I'm
That's
heading
like
out.
the third time today we had absolutely zero
Right.
response. I agree with because Candace, you're at that age. I loved when I was at that age meeting women 30 to 33, 34, 35 because they're done with the silliness of trying with guys in their 20s. They've been through all the stuff you've talked about. By the time they get to their 30s, it's down to business. We're going to have fun. It's going to be weird. It's going to be wild. I'm just saying. And I think you're right. The younger guys, they're just not ready to match you yet.
Yeah, it's okay. And that's fine. We're just not going to be, it's not, I can't even talk about it anymore.
Filthy animal.
We're going to be separated for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Why? Are you still seeing him?
No, God, no.
right.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing, it's okay. I'm not
Yeah.
mad. I'm
No.
just not,
Right.
it's just not going to work out.
Hey, it's got to work out if it's going to work out. All right. Well, we'll wrap up the new global sex survey here with one more stat.
Oh, Billy.
That's so creepy. Oh, Billy. Only 12% of Americans rate their sexual satisfaction as a 5 out of 5. Yeah, well, about 1 out of 10 people say 5 out of 5 is second lowest in the world behind Germany. Germany, hard to please. Probably got to get some clamps going over in Germany. Some whips, some discipline. Yodeling in the canyon. All right, well, there you go. There's some global sex survey stuff. I was reading something on space sex. What do they have? Let me see if I've got that story right here in front of me. It was kind of cool. It was, I'm going to blow it here, but space sex. Because, yeah, this is something now as we explore space, and people are going to go to Mars. They're going to spend some time up there. There's some, I guess, challenges that come with getting it on in space, with Virgin Galactic planning to launch its first private astronaut space tourism mission. That's coming up next month. It's clear that more and more regular people are going to be blasting off into space, and that's why industry leaders and scientists are calling for more research on the consequences of space sex. Right. Sounds fun, doesn't it? I feel like I should have some reverb there. Space sex! There's an imaginary line out there called the Kármán line. I'm not familiar with it. That's the boundary between Earth's atmosphere and outer space. Oh, okay, there you learn a little something. The Kármán line. So instead of joining the Mile High Club, people will be joining the Kármán Line Club. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, though, does it? And researchers will need to figure out how to allow people to get intimate safely in zero gravity. Yeah, that's right, because that stuff, it's not just on the sheets, the wet spot you have to look out for. The wet spot's now floating around.
Mm-hmm.
How fun, though, that would be to float.
It would.
Don't you think? Yeah. I mean, it might get it right, yeah. There's all sorts of possibilities, right? Floating. Weightless sex.
Huh.
Yeah,
sometimes I float.
Oh, Billy.
Stop it. I hate that.
All right, Candace, we have our guest coming up here. I'm looking for my guest info. Do you have the guest info?
Yeah, I'll send her again.
No, you don't have to send it again. I just found it.
Oh,
I just want to talk about Nat Segaloff,
Yeah.
author of The Exorcist Legacy, 50 Years of Fear. Yeah, that sounds like something to get in. We're covering all the fun topics this morning. Sex and fear. 8:30, we'll talk to Nat Segaloff. Hang tight.
The KQ Morning Show is back, and we always want to hear from you. Call or text 651-989-ROCK. 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
We just love the attention. Tony, Candace, and Zepp here. And just a minute or two, we'll be talking with Nat Segaloff about the 50th anniversary. He's written a book about the 50th anniversary of The Exorcist. And there's a new Exorcist trilogy coming out. Did you know about this, Tony?
Yeah, I read a bit about it.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, Candace, I didn't mean to not address you, but I thought maybe he was calling in.
Whatever.
It's over. I'll see you in the office, the boss's office after the show. Zepp's ignoring me. No, so while we have a minute, he's calling in right now. We got to talk about this. How many skulls, human skulls, would you say you have in your house, Tony?
Well, it's a seasonal thing.
It depends on that time of the year. This is a pretty creepy story, but we're going to get to this other creepy story first. It's a creepy book about a creepy movie, and our guest is Nat Segaloff, author of The Exorcist Legacy, 50 Years of Fear. Candace, is he ready to go? All right, she's doing that. This is usually Steve's job. Steve Gorman taking a planned day off. He'll be back with us tomorrow morning, but yeah. He has the timing down. You know, my timing's a little off here this morning, but I think we have him ready to go.
Yes.
Candace?
Here we go. Let's do it.
All right. Good morning, Nat.
Hello there.
All right. I did a little introduction. I was just off time. We have you back now. Is it Segaloff?
It's Segaloff with an S-A-Y, only it's spelled differently. You know how we are.
I know how you are. Nat Segaloff, author of The Exorcist Legacy, 50 Years of Fear. It is the 50th anniversary of The Exorcist, and we were just talking, while we were waiting for you to come on, that there's an Exorcist trilogy coming up, too. But first, let's talk about your book here. Why, first of all, write a book about The Exorcist Legacy?
Well, it's going to sound corny, but I've been possessed by The Exorcist for 50 years, and this is my exorcism. I was one of the original publicists on the movie in Boston, and we had a screening for critics, and I had to guard the door to make sure nobody got in. And then I and the other members of the management team of the theater chain, a few weeks later, were indicted by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for blasphemy, obscenity, and corrupting the morals of a minor. So It turned out there was a crazy religious nut named Rita Warren in Massachusetts who had somehow inveigled a judge to issue an indictment for us.
Oh, man.
And the first thing that happened was that William Friedkin, the director of the film, called us up, got me on the phone, and offered us support and encouragement to defend ourselves. And then, of course, the judge threw the case out on the first day of Lent. So I've kind of been exercising for the last 50 years, and this is a way of writing about the film, about the experience, about all the sequels and prequels and spin-offs and all the phenomena around it. And so I think I can literally close the book by writing the book.
Yeah, all right. The book is The Exorcist Legacy, 50 Years of Fear. I do want to mention that the foreword, written by none other than John Russo, the author and co-writer of the film of The Night of the Living Dead. How'd you get him involved with this? Are you personal friends?
I wish. Well, we know each other now online. My publisher, James Abate, who's with the Kensington Citadel imprint, was able to prevail on John to write a wonderful first-person essay about his experience with The Exorcist. And, this really shows a whole generation. I mean, Night of the Living Dead, that was the movie that scared people at midnight. And then The Exorcist picked up during regular waking hours. So it's quite a combination.
Well, Night of the Living Dead, I think, and The Exorcist, I'm a horror film buff myself. I think both of those were game changers. The Exorcist, I don't want to be any older than I am, but there are some cultural film things that happened when I came of age, Jaws, Star Wars, but just before that you had Godfather, and then, of course, The Exorcist came out. And while The Godfather was its own phenomenon, just a masterpiece of movie making, The Exorcist, like you talked about, just upset and freaked out a lot of people. I love old radio air checks, and I have one from Larry Lujak in Chicago in 1973, and reading letters from parents that were disgusted and grossed out, or they were taking the religious angle. There was a lot of that, and this film upset and freaked out a lot of people.
It did, for a very interesting reason, I think. I've analyzed it. God knows I've had time, half a century. It's because when you're in the theater watching a horror movie, whether it's Jason or Freddy or Dracula or the Frankenstein monster, you go home and they're still in the theater. But when you go home, Satan could be hiding under your bed.
Right.
The religious experience we've had for 2,000 years of either brainwashing or teaching, whatever you want to call it, has made us aware of perhaps a personified Satan. And that's something that William Peter Blatty tried to do in his Faith trilogy of The Exorcist and The Ninth Configuration and Legion. He said if he could prove the existence of Satan, then couldn't there also be a real God and a life everlasting? And so The Exorcist is a religious film. But not by that name.
You're right. It messes with our mind. When you look at that period of time, Rosemary's Baby, The Omen would come out some years later because of The Exorcist. And then but The Exorcist, it broke so many boxes. It also, in addition with messing with your mind and staying with you long after you left the theater, usually for the rest of your life, when you talk about it, people still get pretty fired up about it. It also had... at the time, things we didn't see as much in Hollywood, just some real gross stuff. It had some of that really, gross, we had the B-movie stuff, we saw, you could tell when you watched that stuff that it was goofy and those were rubber things and the blob wasn't really a blob that you had to worry about being real. But when we saw disturbing things in The Exorcist, that seemed real. Her sores, her skin pouring apart, puking on the priest. It had everything.
Well, thank you. I haven't eaten yet today, so
a little pea soup.
Well, that's the thing. The Exorcist had a reality to it because everything you saw on screen, the floating kid, the turning head, the dressers, the bed going up and down, that actually happened. Yeah. Not because Reagan was possessed, but because there was a huge technical crew behind the scenes led by Marcel Vercouture and the makeup done by the brilliant Dick Smith. It all looked real, and because of that veracity, we tended to attach more believability to the events themselves in the context of the story.
Yeah, no doubt.
What was working on the set like? Were people apprehensive or tense, or was it fun and silly?
Oh, well, I can't imagine people putting lampshades on their head doing The Exorcist. But William Goldman, the great screenwriter, has said, the most exciting day of your life is your first day on a movie set, and the most boring day of your life is your second day on a movie set. working shot by shot. They could sometimes only get 5 or 6 shots a day because they had to refrigerate the room that had the set for Reagan's bedroom. And after one shot, the temperature had gone up and you couldn't see the breath in front of people's mouths anymore. Now, these days, you could do that with CGI, but there was no CGI, so everything had to be an actual physical effect. It took a long time to shoot that movie. It went over schedule, over budget, but of course, as Sam Goldwyn said, nothing is as cheap to produce as a hit. And The Exorcist certainly bore that out.
Our guest this morning, Nat Segaloff, that's Segaloff. He's the author of The Exorcist Legacy, 50 Years of Fear. And probably well-timed, or maybe you did it on, wanted to release the book at this time with the new Exorcist trilogy getting started here. What can you tell us about the Exorcist trilogy? I don't know if your book gets into that at all, but when you start talking about an Exorcist trilogy, oh my gosh, 3 of them?
Well, yes, the first one is going to be out. It's called Exorcist Believer, and that's coming out on October 13th from Universal. And then the other 2 are going to be on the Peacock Network. I sound like a shill for them. The writer-director, David Gordon Green, was an absolute gracious, wonderful guy because, how books have a large lead time. He talked with me a year and a half ago before he'd really made the film, and he didn't want to discuss it with anybody. So he was very discreet, and he gave us, I think, the most extensive interview that he had given at the time, and that's in the book now about the new film. So that's coming out in October, and of course the actual anniversary is December. And I'm hoping I'll have 3 different sales points for The Exorcist Legacy. And Kensington Citadel is going to be very happy if we can do that. So thank you for helping.
Yeah, you got to love a Shocktober release for the Exorcist trilogy. The Exorcist Legacy, 50 Years of Fear. I know we have you just for another minute. You got to move along. But in this book that you've written about The Exorcist, so much has been said about it over the years. So many documentaries and books have been printed. What do you want people to know about this book that you've written, that you've put in there, that you think Exorcist fans will really be keenly interested in, that they may not have been exposed to yet?
This is a tell-all book in a positive way about what it takes to make movies and how William Peter Blatty and William Friedkin began and worked very, very hard to make a film that they could be proud of, and they certainly can be. And the people who followed it tried to follow in their legacy to greater or lesser degrees. But it shows how a compelling idea like The Exorcist really is timeless because it's part of our culture. It's part of who we are, if you will, part of our souls.
Yeah, well, very well said. You sound like an author. Nat Segaloff is the author of The Exorcist Legacy, 50 Years of Fear. I can't wait to dig into this one. Nat, thanks for spending some time with us. And if you have some time here in Shocktober, we'd love to have you back to talk about it as the trilogy gets kicked off.
Talk to my publicist.
We'll be in touch.
Talk to my people.
You guys are good. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Nat Segaloff, The Exorcist Legacy.
Segaloff.
I remember reading the book, it was terrifying, but I found the movie pretty comical.
Yeah, I wasn't scared of it either.
How old were you? How old were both of you when you saw the movie?
Like 8.
Oh, you were pretty young, Candace. But you probably wasn't your first horror movie. God, 8, that's really young. Maybe that's why you thought it was kind of comical because you're 8. And you've been exposed at that area or at that age of your life to so much more than we had. Tony and I's and our age group, before that it was, horror movies were they were shtick. They were silly. They were goofy. Monster movies. You didn't have any real horror movies. And this one was a horror movie. It freaked you out and it stuck with you. It kept you up at night. You had nightmares. Tony, how old were you?
The young teen. And I saw it at the Highland Theater. And I had these, I still have them. I bring them in every Halloween, ping pong ball eyes. And I put those in at the theater. And right in the middle of the movie, in some random spot, I turned around to the woman behind me. I put them in and I went, "Do you know what time it is?"
Oh, my God.
Blood-curdling scream. It was fantastic.
I've seen those before.
His eyes?
Yeah.
All right. I've seen them, but I don't think he had the fake ones in. We're all partying. It's a different story. That's all a 15-year-old boy really wants to do at a movie theater is just get a blood-curdling scream out of a complete strange woman. That's a high five right there, my man.
You know what's weird, though? That night when I came back after seeing the movie, I was just hanging out in my room watching TV late night. All the power went out after seeing The Exorcist.
Oh, that probably freaked you out more than anything you saw at the movie theater.
Yeah, it did. I almost fainted.
I was pretty young when I saw it. I know I was like 13, 14, something like that. And I didn't end up seeing it until after The Omen. For some reason, I was allowed to watch The Omen. And then The Exorcist came on HBO or something like that when they had just started HBO. And wow, movies, unedited, and they hadn't been censored, and there were no commercial breaks. And I saw that one, and it was late at night, and I was actually babysitting for some neighbors and their kids that were long in bed, and I was by myself, and it freaked me out a little bit.
So I think
But I was raised by a Catholic, so I was raised to be spooked by that kind of stuff.
I saw a scary movie too, I think around the same time or something, and that's probably why it wasn't so scary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. No kidding. They'd already made it seem laughable by the time you saw it. Well, no laughing matter here. 40 human skulls found in a Kentucky apartment linked to body part dealers. I don't remember hearing about body part dealers before this year. Suddenly, they're all over the place. There were the guys in Pennsylvania that were busted for selling human skin, and guys like, well, do you have the arm and the one guy wanted? He wanted a spine as a decoration in his place. I mean, sure.
It's a conversation piece.
Right, I get it. The recent discovery of 40 human skulls in an apartment in Kentucky has uncovered a disturbing network of body part, almost said body art, body part dealers operating across the U.S. The FBI investigation has linked a ring of individuals involved in the buying and selling of stolen human remains, some of which were allegedly taken from Harvard Medical School. Yeah, that's how this whole thing got started. They're just selling off the body parts. And I don't think Harvard they haven't been implicated. They've got enough money. While it may not be illegal to trade human remains in most states, it's not. This case sheds light on the industry's lack of regulation and oversight and that sort of thing. 40 human skulls found in Kentucky. Well, I mean, at least they're not, going out. It's not a serial killer kind of operation or anything like that. You're just weird. You want to buy body parts.
There was a cool movie years ago called Coma, where they would purposely kill people in the emergency room or having surgery so they could harvest their body parts for profit.
Right.
Yes.
Harvest the body parts. Well, there was just a big ring busted somewhere in the Pacific Rim. I forget which country over there. I was just reading it here a day or two ago where about 50 or 60 people were arrested for trafficking humans, not for sex, not for that good old-fashioned reason, but for organs. Wow. They were trafficking people and kidnapping them and then stealing like their kidneys and stuff like that to sell on the black market. Who's getting a kidney on the black market? I mean, I need a kidney. I know I'm on a waiting list or a liver, and it's only a matter of time until I need a liver. And so I'm on the waiting list. I'm getting a little impatient, and we know that people pass away all the time that don't get these. But, I mean, how do you go on the dark web, and then who's performing the surgery to put the body part in you?
And how do you research that?
Right. Was it well kept? Is it spoiled? I just a lot of questions that I guess I don't want to know the answer to. Let's turn it to something more positive. I don't know if you guys have heard about this Minnesota kid. The kids were up there doing the ding-dong ditching thing, as we do. It's funny, but some kid, I don't know if he got busted doing it and realized that they had a doorbell camera. They didn't have doorbell cameras when I was growing up. You actually got away with it if you could just outrun the fat guy whose doorbell you just rang, and you always could. But now they have the doorbell cameras, and this kid, it's a random act of kindness that's gone viral from a Minnesota kid. We'll play you the audio here at 9 o'clock. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Tony, sit down. Every time that song comes on, you go crazy, man. Is that your favorite classic rock song of all time?
My anthem.
Tony.
Just fits any situation, does it not?
That's any situation.
Tony is amped up today. I am me too, though, this alien stuff. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, so the alien stuff, we talked about that a little bit earlier. I'll tell you what, let's circle back around to that because we had some people testifying in front of Congress yesterday. And listen, I expected a couple of cuckoos, to get up there and go, no, seriously, but these guys look like the real deal. They look like real pros. And then I started Googling their names, and it turns out they're not, they're not homeless. They're not trying to sell a book. They're just, we got a retired ex-Navy pilot, major that worked at the Pentagon for many years, testifying that, we have aliens. Oh, yeah, for sure. We have biological samples. And then the ex-Navy pilot talking about some really weird UFO experiences. We'll circle back to that here at 9:30. I was just checking the local news again. Everything must be all right out there. We must be okay because everything's about the heat, the oppressive heat. They say it's going to feel like 100 today. Let me tell you something. If it's going to feel like 100 in late July, we're not doing too bad because what's Phoenix up over 110 for 25 straight days?
Wow.
They have that dry heat. I did punch it in, though. I always get curious when we start freaking out about the heat in late July. And the hottest day on record in Minnesota for this day, 115. Jeez. Now that, in Minnesota, can you imagine 115 degrees with the humidity on July 27th? And that was in 1917.
Better get some iced tea going there, honey.
I know, right? 1917, no air conditioning. Everybody's wearing wool. That had to suck. What were you doing July 27th, 1917 to beat the heat? Man. But they were just a hell of a lot tougher back then, weren't they? We're not so tough. And then the story I clicked on. We are going to get to this kid in Minnesota, this audio in a second. You know, Barbenheimer, that's all the craze. That's the deal out there. I'm going to try and sneak one in. Maybe a matinee today. I always just think, though, if I go to a matinee, you know, because it's hot out, there's oppressive heat. It's going to be nice and air-conditioned. But the movie theaters are still packed with these movies. I mean, you go in there and there's like 4 tickets left. I know, I like matinees during the week when it's not so busy. So maybe next week. But these are foreign language films in India, of course. So they have subtitles. And somebody just reported that over the weekend in some theater in India, they showed Barbie with they showed Oppenheimer with Barbie subtitles.
Oh, that's funny.
Can you imagine? I wonder how far into the movie your average person was when they're thinking, this just doesn't make sense. Right. It's Oppenheimer with Barbie subtitles. Now that I'd like to do, but I'm going to need some edibles. Can't get those till August 1st, right? Actually, I don't know when we can get those. Although your buddy that you were talking to yesterday, what's his name, Nick?
Well, you can get them now.
Right now.
Yeah. 5 milligrams.
Those edibles that they have, the 5 milligrams, but it turns out it's candy. So you mean I have to eat more candy?
Does the trick.
Gave me some of those. I was...
You're crazy. I gave you a pack of those and you literally ate like 5.
Nah.
You're like, nom, 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 nom,
He's
nom, nom, nom.
firm nor deny. And then went out and had just a steak the size of a toilet seat. It was just 8, too. It was awesome. So that'll do until, they get the real stuff figured out. I want to talk about this little kid who's been going door to door. It doesn't say where. So this is on Yahoo News. They just say it's in Minnesota somewhere. A little boy going door to door with people's doorbell cameras and telling them that they matter. And, of course, it looks like it's a nice little average neighborhood. Could be a suburb, could be a small town in Minnesota. A Minnesota mom named Ashley posted a sincere video that showcased a little boy that spoke to her through the security camera on her door. Showcased a random act of kindness. The little boy in the video stood outside Ashley's door as he gave an incredibly inspiring speech. You'll hear him also interacting with some other kids because, of course, he has the goofy friends that are coming by and watching him do this, so they decide to get involved and run up and ding-dong ditch and that sort of thing. But here he is. We don't know his name. We don't know exactly where in Minnesota. If this makes sense to you, please give us a call, 651-989-ROCK. I mean, if it makes sense in that you might know who this is or where it's at. Here he is.
You can see me. Get out of here, bub. And you matter, all right? There's always going to be somebody that cares about you. And you're a good person. No matter what people say, you matter.
That's his friends, Ding Dong. Yeah.
Ignore them. They're losers. The Ding Dong ditching you. I'm just trying to say something nice. Like, I don't know what they're doing. They're running away and stuff. I'm just trying to say that you matter, man. Or girl. Whoever you are, you matter to someone. Just keep that in mind. Don't forget that.
That's it.
No soliciting.
Yeah. Get out of here, you little freak.
The rest of the story is that he breaks in and steals.
Yeah, right, exactly. He leaves a burning bag of poop on you. He lures you out with a random act of kindness. I don't know. I just want
sweet kid.
Yeah, right. I think so. I have some jaded friends. I was sharing the story with them. They're like, well, obviously he's up to something. He's running diversion for his friends because that's what we would do, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of pranksters we were. But all right.
Sweet. He's so sweet. It makes me sick.
Too sweet? How about less sweet? How about a less sweet kid?
Yes, please.
An 11-year-old Florida girl arrested and charged with falsely reporting a crime that she was inspired by an online challenge to report a friend's kidnapping. Authorities say the girl sent a text to the sheriff's office to report that her 14-year-old friend had been kidnapped by an armed male driving a white van south on I-95. I don't know where this, Florida, down there in Florida. And she was following in a blue Jeep. Yeah, you know what? That doesn't terrify anyone. Amber alerts are going off. People's phones are freaking out. We're worried about kids being snatched all the time. This is funny. The report prompted several police departments, including an aviation unit, to launch a massive search. She continued to text updates for the next hour and a half, providing a description of the male suspect, whom she said was armed with a gun. Investigators grew suspicious and tracked the girl's cell phone to a home in Port Orange, where they found her inside and on an active 911 call with the sheriff's department. Wow, this 11-year-old really taking it all the way. The girl's been charged with making a false police report. Yeah, she just thought it would be funny, she said. What the kids are we raising that they think that's funny?
Yeah, that is good comedy.
Isn't it?
It's good, clean fun.
Brats. So much for that nice kid in the first story. That's what he's dealing with out there. Yeah, those goofballs. Yeah. You know what's funny? When a bear gets trapped in someone's car, especially during a bachelorette party.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, this is a TikTok video. A woman in California documenting a bear that got inside her car, ripped it apart, went poo-poo inside the car. Ooh. Does a bear shit in the woods? Isn't that the old question? Does in the car. Was at a bachelorette party when it all happened. Here's the bear ripping her car apart and her inspecting the damage when it ran away.
There's a freaking bear in my car. No. There's a bear in my car. This bear is absolutely destroying the inside of my car right now. Oh my gosh.
From her camera to her makeup.
We already called the fire department, don't worry. Oh.
Yeah, they're real strong.
Oh my gosh.
Bears?
She's cleaning out the poop in my car. The bear poop.
Job well done.
I'm telling you, that's why a bear is getting in cars. It happens all the time.
Whose job is it to clean it out?
Well, if you own the car,
get the bounty.
DNR, they'll get it. They'll figure it out. Let's keep it on animal news, shall we? Wild animal news with audio.
Sure.
Yeah.
An Englishman had the police called on him when they heard a woman screaming from inside his home.
Boy.
Yeah. Turns out it was just one of his 22 pet parrots.
22.
Oh, that's funny.
How'd you like to be his neighbor? 22 pet parrots.
Wow.
Candace, you're out on a date. You get back to his place. You're having a good time. Sure, I'll come in for a drink. And he has 22 pet parrots. Exactly. This is one of the retired police officer and the owner of the parrot, Steve Wood, talking about what happened.
I've just had 3 police vehicles turn up at my house. I might be in a bit of trouble because a concerned neighbour has been passing by telling me that there's screaming coming from my house. A woman screaming for help. I'm sorry, mate. This is brilliant.
All right. Yeah, was that Stevie Outback? It almost sounded like. What's more annoying, the parrot or his laugh?
Right. I'm sorry, mate. This is brilliant.
There's a torture chamber in the house.
God, why do you have 22 parrots? Yeah, freak.
Freak.
More animal news. It only gets more disturbing, I'm afraid. The headline, Illinois man with genitals exposed near horses arrested again.
Again?
Again. A man who was previously arrested in April on charges of sexual contact with an animal arrested again for trespassing after deputies found him near horses with his genitals exposed at about 1 o'clock in the morning. They showed up, a suspicious person hanging out. He looks exactly like the kind of person that would whip it out in front of a horse. Horses bite sometimes.
Yeah, don't they like carrots and apples?
Yeah, right? You just want them to clamp down. Anyway, that's the story. That's the end of that disturbing animal story.
You need a stepladder.
Yeah, you would have to have a stepladder, wouldn't you? I mean, yeah, I guess. It's all right. Listen, different strokes for different folks. But if it includes a victim, and of course the horse is, we're only assuming non-consensual. A horse can't consent to this. Minors, people, any non-consensual sex, you just got to bury that stuff. Go online.
Well, if it stomps 3 times, that means yes, indeed.
It does. All right, let's switch it up. We're going to be talking about UFOs here. They had a big the hearings there in front of Congress yesterday. It's getting interesting. It's getting a little more believable for us skeptics. Tony's all in. We'll talk about that at 9:30. Hang tight.
The KQ Morning Show is back. 92 KQRS.
Has anyone seen Candace's hat today?
I might post a picture of it. Tony got me this nice hat. It's yellow.
Yeah.
You're adorable.
You are adorable. I heard her
just-
screaming on the intercom, "What's somebody look at my hat?" And I thought she was being attacked.
You look good in hats.
Yeah.
Well, it's yellow. I'm not sure about it. 'cause
You
I'm
need some
so
fishing
white.
lures in there.
Yeah, for sure. And like a long tail hanging down the back. What is that, net or something that they have on that? There's something about women wearing baseball caps,
Yeah.
you know, and
Like it.
wearing baseball caps and driving pickup trucks. That just
Hell
really
yeah.
trips my trigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I just flexed in our work bathroom, so I'm heading there.
I mean, when you say you flexed, you
yeah,
just
I put my arms up and I squeezed them tight.
okay.
Just wanted
Explains
to
why
check out.
your top is ripped.
She's hulking out in there.
Yeah, you know, I've been working on my arms. I feel like a lot of my girlfriends right now that are my age have really nice arm muscles, and I'm here for it. I love to see it. I love a woman with muscles.
It gets a little toned, right?
Yeah.
You get that bicep, that little ripple back there, or tricep. I'm thinking of that tricep ripple that you get on the back of your arm. That is sexy. All right, well, we'll give you a chance to flex here for us in about 15 minutes. Right now, I want to talk about these hearings yesterday Congress held to learn more about the existence of UFOs and aliens. And, you know, they do this all the time, and all the time I pay attention like, okay, finally we're going to get some hard evidence here, and you never do. But they're getting more interesting. So they wanted to know which government agencies and contractors have been spying on and studying alien aircraft and what proof of contact they might have. Retired military officer Major David Grush confirmed that the government has had knowledge of extraterrestrial activity since 1930 and also has recovered crashed aircraft with non-human biological pilots.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
All right. Well, I mean, there he is just saying it. This is an ex-Pentagon guy, retired military officer, confirming the government has had knowledge. Oh, yeah, I've talked to people that have had direct contact with non-human biological pilots that were recovered from these crash scenes. It goes all the way back to 1930. Is that the one down in, where was it at?
Roswell was 47.
Roswell. Oh, that was 47. Okay, so it's been going on for a while, and they have them, and the government's been keeping it a secret, and we get a whistleblower every once in a while, and some people roll their eyes, some people get really fascinated, and then we just seem to move on. Like, no big deal. You know, on a bright, sunny day, it's going to suddenly have to get real cloudy, and we're going to have to look up and go, oh, my God, they're here. Right? I mean, to hit people over the heads with. Here's the problem. It's the government interviewing ex-government people about something the government has. Why don't you just go unlock the frickin' vault? You know? I mean, who within the government is not, you know, giving up? So if there's an agency within the government, a men in black, if you will, that's keeping this from Congress, they can't. I mean, how many doors do we have? Go unlock these things. Go bust them open. Let us know.
No, they don't have the power. It's above the president. These are
above the press.
They're among us. I think they're working in government. They have been here for a long time. And here's the interesting: there's movement happening now. They're having legitimate hearings, and these people are all respected officials, legitimate employees, and people are just getting more open to it. They're getting more curious. There's more proof, more video surveillance. And these people have everything to lose, too. Their reputations are on the line, their professional lives.
Yeah, right.
So they're believable and they're legit. Wake up, people.
Wake up.
I know. Well, what happens, Tony? What happens when we have definitive proof? It's unquestionable, and the entire planet knows that they're aliens. They've been visiting us. They're more advanced than we are. They have all this technology. What happens, do you think?
Well, that's the thing. Why is it something to fear? It's just
because we're human beings and we freak out about everything.
It's knowledge that we're a form of life like there is all over the cosmos.
All right. Yeah, it's still, so it drives me a little bit crazy that I think you're probably right about some of it. You know, certainly about it existing.
All of it.
Listen, there's no doubt. I think it's unquestionable that there's life out there in the universe other than our own. I mean, it's just too big of a damn universe, even though with all of the things that went just right for us, all the variables that came together cosmically to produce life here on planet Earth, it's happened somewhere else. But then you have to make some other big leaps, right? It has to be civilized. It has to have some sort of artificial intelligence and crack that whole speed of light thing to get here and get around. And those are big leaps. So, well, this is a former Navy fighter pilot, Ryan Graves, asked how he knew that UFOs weren't American or even human-made, and he gave this answer.
How do you know that these were not our aircraft?
Some of the behaviors that we saw in a working area, we would see these objects being at 0.0 Mach, that's zero airspeed, over certain pieces of the ground. So what that means, just like a river, if you throw a bobber in, it's going to float downstream. These objects were staying completely stationary in Category 4 hurricane winds. These same objects would then accelerate to supersonic speeds, 1.1, 1.2 Mach, and they would do so in very erratic and quick behaviors that I don't have an explanation for.
And, now something like that, of course, the government's going to come out and say, well, we're testing all sorts of top secret stuff, but it might be the alien technology that they've used since the 1930s to come up with this crazy kooky. Are we going to have to start a World War III here to see us pull out the alien technology? And where are the aliens? Why are they being so secretive? Why aren't they interacting with us on a mass scale?
They are. Open your mind.
I just want an alien friend. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
I know. You do have alien qualities.
He might be.
There's a reason why I'm so obsessed with this.
All right.
Like
I don't know.
the things that you do in your studio that I can see that you probably think I can't see.
You mean the shape-shifting?
Candace is all-seeing. Why doesn't somebody see some winning numbers for me? Now we have the Mega Millions. That's up to $1 billion.
That's right.
For the Friday drawing, the tomorrow drawing, another bill out there. I was just wondering why all of a sudden it's $1 billion all the time. It seems like several times a year, and it never used to be that. But I guess some years ago they lengthened the odds. Both the Powerball and the Mega Millions have lengthened the odds to get these big pots. Because what happens? When the pot gets to about $1 million or up into the $800 million, goofballs like me get off the sideline and go, all right, how much do I have on me? And I'll go down, I'm only going to buy 10. And when I say 10, I mean 20. But you better give me 40. Because I think for every one you buy, you're increasing your odds. But there you go, another $1 billion up for grabs.
Isn't it funny how it doesn't generate interest like it used to?
Meaning what?
Yeah, when it gets up that high. It used to be
Right.
just stunning and shocking.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's like, oh, yeah, that is okay. I suppose I should get a ticket.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll have to go out and get some tickets. But I expect to win. Well, we've talked about it on the show before. I just like the fantasy. I'll buy them on, today, maybe tomorrow, and then fantasize that I've got the winner. What movie would you suspect this happened at? Barbie or Oppenheimer?
It's a good game.
Over the weekend, all right? You guys guess. Play along out there with us. A guy was watching, this was at a theater in Paducah on Saturday, and the kid behind him would not stop kicking his seat. Little brat. Not clear how old the kid was. The guy's name has not been released. But he stood up and started swearing at the kid. Really? Right out of the gate? You don't turn around and hey, with the kicking, all right? So the kid's dad stepped in. They got into a physical fight over it, and the guy ended up pulling a gun. You know how you take a gun to the movie theater? He had his gun, thankfully, because a kid was kicking his seat. According to witnesses, he said, "What the F are you going to do now?" Apparently he threatened the dad with it, not the kid. I feel like everyone in the theater was threatened because they started running out of the theater. No one was hurt. The guy with the gun got escorted out of the theater. Looks like he might face some charges for that as well. So which movie was that?
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
The kid was bored.
Yeah, right. No, it was Barbie because, the kid. I thought the kid might give it away.
Shoot.
Is Barbie the kind of movie that you would take a kid to?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was nudity. I thought there was graphic.
No.
Soft core.
Yeah, full frontal. No.
The thing about it
I'd
is
even settle for Ryan Gosling. He's so hot.
She's so beautiful. You don't even, she can keep all her clothes. She could be wearing, a snowsuit or an astronaut costume and still be so beautiful. It's disgusting.
Yep. She could, put on one of those, what do they call them? Fan jackets we were talking about. They're selling jackets now with fans in them, and then they just blow up, and you look like a, I don't know, Stay Puft Marshmallow walking around.
You're pretty.
You're pretty. 10 weirdest things we Google, gang. This just showed up on whatever we call Twitter now, X.
Yeah, except they still have the freaking bird hanging around in some parts of it. It's like birds tweet. You got to change the whole thing. Birds don't X.
We're going to have to paint the place. The carpet's got to go. We're going to need new furniture. What the hell is going on? And he's just turning it into a bank, isn't he? Like X is supposed to be somewhere. I don't care either. But anyway, Google released this. They X'd it or whatever. And so I always love these. I had to click on it. All right, here are some of the weirdest things we're Googling. This is from the last, just 30 days. Does passing gas burn calories? Well, you're getting desperate. I don't want to go for a walk. I don't want to do any exercise. What about if I just sit here and fart? Am I losing calories? The answer is, anyone want to take a guess?
Yes.
You're right, Candace.
Yes.
But only because it takes a tiny bit of energy to do it. I just wait till they come naturally. Don't push. So that's where you get a shark. It is Shark Week. Wait, Shark Week. So by that standard, breathing, I don't know. Breathing burns calories. Too. Just breathing. Yeah,
so does sleeping.
Yeah, right. Everything burns calories. But all right, some weird things we're Googling. Candace. Wow. Why do men have nipples?
Why?
That happens in utero before your male hormones kick in.
Oh.
That's why. That'd be one of those old stories because we used to also breastfeed back in the cave.
If you can milk a goat, you can milk a man.
Right, exactly, because you have to have something to hold on to the clamp, right?
Can milk a man.
If you can milk a goat, you can milk a man.
There's something wrong with me, I think.
Something very, very wrong with you. All right. Do penguins have knees? Well, do they?
They rarely kneel.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
You ever see it? They don't look like, when they run, they waddle. If they had knees, would they waddle? But they do have knees.
Huh.
Yeah, it doesn't give us any more information than that. Yeah. Do pigs sweat? Now, I always was told that that's why you had to go down and hose down the pigs. We only had them for a couple of years. Dad hated them, thank God. Messy. You know, I like the cows. They crap out in the field. Pigs crap in the barn. You got to clean that up.
And they roll in it, don't they?
They roll in it, and that's how they stay cool because they don't sweat. But, yeah, they do sweat. It's not to cool themselves down, however. They have to roll in the mud for that. But they do. A pig will sweat. Do men have periods? Yeah. When they say I do, you inherit one. Then you're going to have a, No, I don't know. It doesn't have an answer. It just says do men have periods.
Yeah, mood swings.
Right. I have plenty of those. Do worms have eyes? No, they don't. But their skin cells can detect light. Why does my boss hate me? Weird things people are Googling. Why does my boss hate me? Stop that. Can a man get pregnant? And am I a psycho? Does my butt look 40? Is the world flat? Can I marry my cousin? And what happens if you drink blood? There's something wrong with us. Candace, were you involved in any of these?
I mean, probably.
Probably a couple. And that leads me to just some of these odd facts. I'm on the Audubon page here. I just ran into these. Birds don't live in nests. Nests are where they keep their eggs. Oh, I already did this one. I did this one other time,
It's old hat, old nest.
Yeah, it's an old nest one. All right, so I'm going to skip past that one and go on to this one. That's stupid. I don't like any of these. I don't know.
Did I tell you guys about my hat?
Yeah, I know. Now suddenly I want to talk about your hat again because, I think I've already read these. I don't know if I read them on the air or not. A guy named William Wellett invented daylight saving time, and his great-grandson is Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Oh.
Did you know that?
Coldplay.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Bix
Yes,
Bix ballpoint pens have a hole in the top of the cap.
Yes.
So if a child swallows one, it gets stuck in their throat. Air can still get through. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Wow. I had no idea.
You can breathe.
According to the USDA, in 2022, the average American ate 18 pounds of ice cream. Holy crap. Probably, though.
I was at a movie theater one time, and there was an older guy in the seat next to me, and he brought in a gigantic tub of ice cream. Was eating it in the theater. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, why not?
I was jealous.
I mean, a gigantic tub. You're going to get brain freeze. What do you do when you have to eat the whole tub? You can't just put it under your seat. I guess you could, but all right. Steve, did I mention Gorman's back tomorrow?
It's back tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Today and every weekday at noon, it's a free ride. Minnesota's commercial-free classic rock on 92 KQRS.